evening, everyone. This is New York City Councilmember Andy King. You're live on King Talk Radio, the show that talks about real news, real views, anything that matters to you, whether it's spirituality, whether it's community development, whether it's the love of your life, or just something that affects you each and every day. Tune in every Friday night. We're always here at 7 p.m. on King Talk Radio. If you have any thoughts, questions, if you want to send us an email, you can email us at kingtalkradioshow@gmail.com. This is the show that's designed to make sure that the community has an opportunity to speak their concerns, talk about what's important to them, and we're here at the Ultimate Grill. Not only are we here at the Ultimate Grill because it's a great place to eat, it's a great place to visit, but we're here celebrating our mothers here in the 12th District for all they have done. In addition, having a real community conversation about space and place and even Baychester Square Mall, something that's been on everybody's mind for the last last year. So I'm so delighted to be here this evening with my residents from Co-op City as well as throughout the 12th District to talk about the things that matter on King Talk Radio. Again, we're here every Friday night, 7 p.m. But we're live today at 4 over here at the Ultimate Grill, so you won't be able to call in tonight, but we just want you to tune in and be a part of tonight's conversation. So first up, joining us, one of our seniors from Co-op City. Come on, give a seat here. Let's give a hand up here. I want you to introduce yourself to the public here and tell us who you are and where do you live in the Bronx?
Okay, my name is Cheryl Weeks. I live outside of Co-op City on Eli Avenue in Bartow.
So let's say, Miss Weeks, now let's say you are a mother.
A godmother.
And a godmother. See, I was taught it takes a village to raise a child, so you're part of that village, huh?
Yes.
So as we do every year, there is this celebration called Mother's Day. What does that mean to you?
Well, I remember my mother, my aunts, everybody that helped raise me, and the people that I was involved with in growing up. I call them my little rugrats because I used to put them on the rug to sleep in front of me because I worked nights, and I would watch TV and everything.
Oh, so now we know where that cartoon came from. It started here. All right. Okay. Well, it's a peace and blessings. So, would you have any plans for this Mother's Day?
Oh, we're gonna go to Union and my old high school buddies. We're still in contact. A couple of us. We go to Eastwood Manor. It's like a tradition, and we party.
All right. Well, party hard. So we're going to talk a little bit more with all our seniors celebrating Mother's Day, but we're just going to jump into our community calendar. Two things we just want to let you know what's happening. Tomorrow, May 6th, the Williamsbridge Club National Association of Negro Businesses and Professional Women will have their 4th annual luncheon tomorrow at the Eastwood Manor from 1 to 6 p.m. So if those of you are interested in attending, please do so. And as we go into talking about the next generation and our youth, the Bronx Youth Empowerment Program on Wednesday, the 10th of May, will be hosting its 11th annual Youth Speaks Forum. This forum allows our young people in our community to express their concerns growing up in today's society. We're so excited about this because it's going to be a real dynamic and interesting and powerful conversation about the inequity, the inequality in the school system as well as in society. This year's panelists will consist of Schools Chancellor Carmen Farina, also Olympic winner, fencing winner, medalist, Darryl Homer, who is actually from the 12th District himself. We're grateful that he went and represented in Brazil and brought home a medal. Also, we're glad to have Fred, the owner of Media Takeout, which is one of the largest blogs that talks about a number of issues in entertainment, that will be joining us here, as well as having Inspector Stevenson, Rule Stevenson, from the 47th Precinct. And I think one of the jewels of along was we'll be glad to have actor L. Stephen Taylor, who plays Mufasa in The Lion King on Broadway. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation that the young people are running. The Bronx Youth Empowerment Program is going to happen this Wednesday, May 10th at 10 a.m. at the Richard R. Green campus, 3710 Barnes Avenue. So if you want to attend, please get their doors open at 9:15. Again, this is a youth production by the Youth Empowerment Program. Over 15 schools are participating, and we're looking forward to, the principals even got something special that they're going to do for the children. So if you're listening and you're part of the 12th District and the Bronx, come on out to Youth Speaks 2018, 3710 Barnes Avenue at the Richard R. Green campus. With that all being said, we're going to get back into our conversation on King Talk Radio right after this public service announcement. We're back at King Talk Radio, the show that talks about real views, real news, real life, all the things that matter to you, whether it's your spirituality, whether it's your love life, whether it's your children, any that affects you, we want to make sure that you have an opportunity in the venue to have a real conversation about the things that matter. We're here at the Ultimate Grill having a wonderful pre-Mother's Day celebration while we're sitting here with our seasoned individuals of the community. We're sitting here with Sister Weeks, and we have a few other seniors and moms and dads and sisters and aunties and godmoms and all of us who raise our children are in the house today here at the Ultimate Grill on Gun Hill Road. I always enjoy Ultimate Grill. This is not a public service announcement for Ultimate Grill, but if you're looking for a great place to eat, the Ultimate Grill definitely delivers. Would y'all agree? So one of the things that have been on the minds of us all here in the community has been the development on the site called Baychester Square. Now, right now in the City Council and in the City of New York, we are going through what they call is the universal land use process, uniform land use review process. And what that does, it allows the community boards, the city planning, the borough president's office, the city council, and the mayor, us all to figure out what is best to build on land that's in the city of New York. We do have a parcel that's currently owned by the MTA that they're looking to develop. And right now, there was an RFP that was issued out over 5 years ago. Grid Properties won that RFP, and they have proposed to build what is known to be more retail. They call it Baychester Square with over 425,000 square feet of new and additional retail. There has been some support, but there's been a lot of concerns and opposition to the development of this site with the current plan that is on the table. So we're here with our residents in the 12th district just to get their thoughts, concerns, and ideas of what they might think we should offer to the space. And we're gonna start with you, sister, since you're sitting up here. So give us your thoughts. If you had, it's over, I believe it's maybe about 3.5 acres of new land space that we'll probably be developing on down here at Gun Hill. If you had your choice and thought, would you be interested in seeing a new mall there? Or tell me, what do you know about what's being developed there?
Well, I know what you're talking about, developing, putting a mall and a senior center or senior living in there. Since I live in the neighborhood, all I can say, the main concern, because especially in the summer and holidays, the traffic congestion is terrible. Okay, people don't give to each other. Even though they put out, traffic enforcements on heavy holidays, but it's just horrible, and it's really like, you would say, even for the most seasoned driver, it's kind of nerve-wracking for you to come out of that block, especially when there's no lights. You're trying to look over when your vision is blocked, and the safety, not only for people driving, safety of pedestrians. The general safety is my main concern. I mean, like you say, we can always, like you say, go for tit for tat or compromise with each other on what you put in a space, for the community, But my main concern is the safety of the residents in the area. Because like I said, I know from living there, and even like you say on a normal Friday night or during rush hour, when you're trying to pull out to go to work or just go to make an appointment, the traffic it's trying, and especially like you say, for us older people coming out there too. So ain't nobody giving you no break.
Well, since we're in the room with older folks, yes. Do you think, as an older folks, that you should be given some courtesy of what you think should be placed in this new location?
Oh yes, most definitely. We've been here. We paid our taxes. I'm not down in younger people. We worked. We put our time in on the job. You gave up. You did your mother sacrifice. You raised your children. You did whatever you had to do for your family. And so we're part of the neighborhood, even though people newer or different people might migrate or come into the neighborhood, but everybody's input should be in there. But I think that the seniors should have a say or a definite input.
So with that all being said, I'd like to just open it up to the audience. Matter of fact, is this an audience? I just need to get people's opinions and thoughts. Even though the RFP has been secured, plans have been laid out, and if you don't know where the stage is, where this process is, the ULA process is right now, It went before the Community Board 12, which is where it's, the site is located within. The Community Board approved the plans as they were submitted to them. Then it went to the Borough President's office, and the Borough President's office, the Borough President approved the plans with two new adjustments to it, in requiring that in the deed that they are limited to only build a certain amount, 40% of the space as retail. And now that the Borough President submitted his recommendations, it goes to city planning. And city planning reviews it all again. Then it comes before yours truly at the city council, Councilmember King, and then we sit with the mayor's office to figure out how do we move this project, or how do we implement this project, or how do we figure out what's best to do with this project. So that's where we are at in the city. So I just want, if you had your choice of seeing what's built on this land, just like get some opinions. What would you like to see built on this project? We'll start.
Affordable housing. Affordable housing.
So we're hearing affordable housing. So that's an interesting question, because we always grapple with the real question: what is affordable housing? You know, affordable housing can be affordable for who? I recall the times when they started talking about affordable housing on 220th, and they was looking to build affordable housing, and then they used the average medium income, and then they included Lower Westchester, which raised the income. So the average income, it wasn't genuine, because people weren't making $65,000 a year, but that was showing up on the record because you included Lower Westchester, where they was making a little bit more money. So again, when we start talking about affordable housing, understand what affordable housing is, and don't get caught into people's sound bites. What sounds good when you say affordable housing. It has to be real good language to understand when you say, well, if I want affordable housing, I want housing that people who make $50,000, single person who's making $50,000 a year can live in. Now you're telling me, you're giving me some criteria of what affordable means to you. But when you say affordable housing and you give it to the people who are creating affordable housing, they can flip those numbers on you. Before you know it, affordable housing turns into $75,000 a year, and that's not our reality. Then we get priced out of our own neighborhoods, or don't have access to the new housing that they're building. So just an FYI on when we start saying affordable housing, because if you say to me, I heard on the site that they're going to be building, if the project is approved, there are two at stages that they'll be building senior housing. But the senior housing needs to be at a place that is affordable to the seniors who live in the neighborhood. So I will say this to you all. I've been in conversations since I've been in office. For the last 5 years, I've been in conversation on this project. And originally, senior housing was, hey, we can do senior housing if you fund it. I said, whoa, what you mean if I fund it? You won the RFP on the premise that you were going to build senior housing. So you cannot come to me today and say, if I fund it, we'll build it. No, you're going to have to build it whether I fund it or not, because that was part of you getting the RFP. Then they included it as a mandate after hearing from myself, the Borough President, Assemblymember Benedetto, and Assemblymember Carl Hasty, and Senator Ruth Thompson at that time said, hey, we need to make sure this housing is affordable. And no disrespect to anybody, I'm just keeping it real, because this is King Talk, where we have real talk. We don't have fake talk, we don't have alternative facts, we keep it real. And I did mention to them, while we look to take care of everybody, because we believe that is the best thing to do, we also have to take care of people where they are. We need to take care of people who've done good stuff. We need to take care of people in their neighborhoods. Point being is that I said, if a senior worked 40 years and lived in their home, and they decide they no longer want to have this 3-family house anymore, they should not be subjected to moving to a building that you've placed individuals in who are having psychological challenges. It's not fair to them just to say that your house is somebody who's over 60 years of age with individuals who need a whole lot of services. I know at any given moment, if I still have my faculty and I have to go into a senior building, I don't have to worry about the guy next door who likes to create fires, or someone who, who's always beating on the walls at 11 o'clock in the morning through 11 o'clock at night. So I put that on the table and said, we're going to build senior housing for up here. People up here, and I'm just, again, I'm addressing what we have here. I'm not addressing what's not anyplace else. We have a number of our residents who live in the 12th district who have homes. We are one of the largest homeowner districts in the city of New York. People work. People provided for their families. So if I decide I want to transition into an apartment, I will love the same standards into the apartment that I'm moving into, that I'm accustomed to. And that's what you all deserve for what you've done for the 12th district, and I applaud you for all of that. So any other suggestions if you had a choice of what we could build on this site? We have a hand here. Just say your name, and if you can.
My name is Linda.
This is Sister Linda. Sister Linda, talk to us.
Why don't you put some community service for the young and some facilities for the older seniors that's sick and has Alzheimer's or dementia? Put a center there. And we don't need another plaza. We have a big one already. Well, we need to put another one there for.
Okay, well, that's a good, okay. Good, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Sister Linda. We got another hand up.
Hi, my name is Anita. I think we should have a multimedia center for the youth for those who are involved in the creative arts and technology.
Multimedia, I like that, yes. Something that's definitely different, it's definitely knowable. I will suggest, I will take that fight back down. I had, for those of you who don't know, in the midst of having conversations with them, when it was presented to me 5 years ago, I was presented with 90 eateries. That's 90 restaurants. So I said to them, I said, you know people do go home and cook, right? So they were left. I told you, you got to go back and you got to do something different. And then they came back and brought another plan. And I asked them, I said, what's in your portfolio? You know, I would love to see, maybe we can put in an executive park, a theater, a spa, higher education facility, or you know, some type of schooling. But we got to do something different. And I don't mind some retail, some eatery. I don't mind that. But the things, the structures that we build need to feed that, not build the stuff that needs to be fed by the other stuff. And because it will never survive. And I strongly pursue the conversation of saying you got to listen to what we're asking for. Because someone didn't ask us 15 years ago, and now that's why we have a vacant piece of parcel down there, because no one was golfing up here, and y'all thought it was okay to put a golf range up here. So in order for this land to make sense, yeah, we need to put things in there that does make sense, whether it's something medical, Alzheimer's, like you say, to deal with individuals, or if it's theater or a media building that offers new opportunities for our youth and create new, different jobs. That's where that's been my whole conversation with these individuals. Like, I don't want it. We have the number one, the only one, indoor mall in the borough of the Bronx. And while the concrete is still settling over in the Mall of Bay Plaza, I'm not interested in watching the concrete fall down by putting another mall up there. They can call it whatever they want to call it, but at the end of the day, we are responsible for our neighborhood. And if you don't listen to the neighborhood, we will have the same scenario we're dealing with right now. So I'd like to hear some other suggestions from us in here. What are we thinking?
Hi,
Your name?
my name is Frano Zagreda. I live right on the border between 12th and 11th. And I was at the meeting that was held at Evander Childs High School. And thank you, you presented your points there too. I think that adding additional cars, first of all, you have the MTA center there with all those buses. You have I-95. You're creating more pollution to begin with. As I said at that meeting, we know that asthma is the highest in the Bronx. So I think a park type where we want children to exercise, build some kind of facility where kids could go and exercise. A real, with greenery. You have less cars and you have space. We deserve it just because we're in the Bronx. We pay taxes just like anybody else in the US. We deserve something for the people. Race, color means nothing. Religion means nothing. All are welcome. A facility that is available to all. It will be ideal.
We're back here at the Ultimate Grill at King Talk Radio. We're sitting here at the Ultimate Grill having a wonderful dining experience with the mothers of the 12th District and some of our activists. We want to thank Paul at the Ultimate Grill as well as A Better Bronx for joining us today. And by the way, as we speak of A Better Bronx, we're sitting here with Sister Melissa, who is the Executive Director of Better Bronx, and we want to just hear from you, your thoughts, concerns. You've heard what some of our residents have been talking about in regards to the mall that, well, not the Baychester Square Mall, that's proposal that might be built if some people have their way, and if some people don't have their way, we'll look at next steps. But we just want to hear from you, Melissa.
Well, my name is Mr. Lashley. I'm the Executive Director of Speak Up for a Better Bronx. We are a nonprofit organization that was formed from local residents and businesses to raise awareness around the issues of traffic and air quality in the Northeast Bronx. We are entirely a grassroots-led effort that is stemming from the support of the local community members like yourselves that are here today. So thank you for coming out today, everyone. Thank you. And the local businesses like this one, I also want to thank Paul, the owner of Ultimate Grill, an amazing restaurant. Thank you so much for hosting us and supporting us as well. We want to stop this development because it will triple the traffic that we already have. It's going to further congest our roads, and it's going to impact our air quality and our quality of life and our safety, and that is a concern. As a resident here, I was not aware of this development. Too often, many developments just like this one come into our community without the say of anyone, and at the end, they're built and we don't know what's happening. And the reason why we were formed is to pretty much spread awareness. That's our mission, is to shed light in this pressing matter, and we're just trying to get the community involved and inform them.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I think you hit it. I think you hit it best. There's no greater deception that those in charge place on society as miseducation and not educated. And then they're able to move agendas in the dark because people don't know. And it's not fair and it's not right. So I applaud Speak Up for a Better Bronx because we all have the same goal in improving our communities and building what makes sense. Being a Bronx resident for, over 50 years, I understand. And I've seen the transformation of this community go from good, bad, to indifferent, and right now just people trying to figure out how they come in and claim the North Bronx and build what they want to build, come in and get whatever money that they can get and run away. The residents here are not interested in that. So if you had any thoughts or saying to Grid Properties, what would be your word to them?
Come into our communities not as a formality, but as a courtesy. Let us know what's going on. If you're gonna come into the community and develop anything here, talk to us first. Just don't talk to Community Board 12 because we also have Community Board 11 and 10 that's around the areas, and we're also affected by it. So just come and talk to the community, see what we want first before you start building.
Well, I think there's no better way to build bridges than communication, and I will add, even when you do come to the table for communications, we would love for the adults to be honest in communications. We've seen a number of people who their agendas is to convince you that the world is zigzag, even though we know it's round.
Yes.
So, and we gotta be real. We really gotta have our eyes and ears and open and educating our young people to think the same way. You've all been through the struggle over 40 or 50 years of your life, and you steadfast to be able here to tell your story today. But some of our young people need to understand and pick up the mantle so they can take on the fight. So I applaud you, Sister Melissa, for what you're doing, because you're running this field. I believe we have a comment from, I saw a hand raised over there. A thought, a suggestion?
Yes, my name is Odessa Jones. I have resided in Co-op City for 46 years. I have seen the good, the bad, the ugly. And the traffic is horrendous. So I want to know, are you here to help us with the process of getting the Department of Transportation and everything with the builders and everything, rather than just putting up buildings and stuff like that? Because it's no good for the people in the community. Like Melissa said, they should come to us and see what we want. But they should find a way to eliminate the traffic before you bring in any more builders. Because with the traffic, you need an overhead path to flush that traffic out to 95 north and south without it coming through the residential areas. Okay? They have no respect for the elders. I'm a senior citizen myself. And with the lights, when they change so fast. They give the pedestrian less time to cross the street than with the car.
Yes.
It seems as though they're involved with the buses and everything that come in and say, you go to number 2. This resident is for the young, in between, the seniors and everything like that. We making the path for the generation behind us. So we need to do something with the traffic in order to help everything else to flow. So now you need to bring in everybody to talk about this project before anything else is being built.
Yes,
But we don't need no more retail stores in the Bronx
exactly.
or nothing like that. We
Well,
need
yeah.
things to help the youth, the seniors, the in-between, and everything else. We need a nice YWCA up here.
Yes.
All right, okay.
That's all.
Well, thank you, sister. And she touched on a number of things as we're here in traffic will definitely be a main concern. And those of us who live up in the 12th District, you know, on any given Saturday, it can be a challenge. But on the holiday season, you know, I guess that's just part of the shopping experience because kind of everywhere you go, you get gridlock during the holidays. But to add another mall won't be gridlock. It will just be like cars will just be painted on the road. So we have to figure that one out when it comes to traffic. And I will say I did propose to the MTA, and we've had other conversations about traffic when the Mall of Bay Plaza was coming to its completion of how do we direct traffic, whether it's onto the Hutch or whether it's onto 95. And they were saying it was a space wide, and I said, listen, it comes to point, and I just remember when I drive down south, that highways, when they ran out of room of going this, the highways went up. So you're gonna have to figure out how to have overpasses that come out of the mall and go right into 85 or the Hutchison that allows us to utilize whatever space that we have because we're out of width space. So that's something that the DOT, the governor, and I give that to Benedetto and Assemblymember Benedetto and Senator Jamal Bailey, you know, to handle that state conversation and deliver on making sure how do we curtail some of the traffic and alleviate some of the pressure on the local residents. I also heard you mention about building something that makes sense for the neighborhood. We're not looking at more retail. What's my commitment? You know, we're getting ready to wrap up in time on King Talk. And I say this, and I've said it on the record, I've been steady, I've been steadfast since day one. I said, this is my neighborhood. I grew up in this neighborhood. It's my home. I'm not interested in anyone who's trying to make a dollar off of us, because at the end of the day, when you go away, we still got to walk up and down the streets, deal with the over traffic, deal with over people on top of one another, the smog, the fog, and all the stuff that comes with when you bring a lot of different new trucks and all things in the environment. So I give this to you this afternoon as we get ready to wrap up on King Talk. My position has always and shall be, whatever is built there has to be something that's amendable, something that is an addition to, something that allows our community to grow, something that benefits the existing community. I'm not interested in trying to build something that takes away from what's currently been currently built. I'm not interested in putting anything that hurts the homeowners, and I've had to say this in time and time. This is not you don't build a retail destination place in the middle of a neighborhood. No, you want to build a retail destination, you cut down some trees off of 87 like you did at Palisades, that's a retail destination. Yes. But you can't build this amount of retail space in front of people's backyards and front yards. You just can't do that. So I want to ask Melissa to give us some final words before we wrap up today. Sister Melissa.
We collected over 64,000 signatures and petitioned. We knocked on doors to local businesses and residents. I want to thank Councilmember Andy King for supporting us, and I urge everyone from the community to do so. Please go to speakup.org, go to change.org, and just voice your concerns. And visit us at Speak Up for a Better Bronx on Facebook.com as well. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm melissa@sufab@gmail.com.
So again, as I always do as we wrap up today, I always end the show with the scripture. And today's scripture comes from Deuteronomy 4, verse 9. Only be careful and watch yourself closely, so that you do not forget the things your eyes have seen, or let them fade from your heart as long as you live. Teach them to your children and their children after them. We are in the middle of one of the most trying times in history. And as believers of Christ, we must continue to stay steadfast in the word of the Lord and our Lord Savior Jesus Christ. For my young and old listeners, know that I am there, and there are many influences in this world, positive and negative, that compete for our attention. But when you are a believer in Christ, you focus on the greater good. No man knows what lies ahead in the future, but walking in the Word and being doers of the Word prepares us for the future. Life is short. You only come around once this time now, all right? This ain't no dress rehearsal, all right? And if you haven't done so today, call your mother and tell her that you love her. If you're unable to do so, then call someone who's like a mother to you and tell them how much you appreciate her. And to all the mothers listening, know that I, Councilmember Andy King, love you all, and I wish you a wonderful and beautiful Mother's Day. Till next Friday, God bless you.